after she listened to our messages, she actually cried. And then when we went up on stage during the photo op, she actually recognized me. And she was like, "You're the guy from the video." And I was like, "Yeah." And then she was like, "You should send me that video." And then we just casually talked and it was so natural. And then after that, she said, "We should do a heart." And then that's why we did a heart during the photo. And then afterwards, we hugged. Hi everyone, I am Richelle Cabal. I am 22 years old and I'm an architecture graduate. I started becoming a fan of Girls' Generation around 2009 and I was 11 years old back then after I saw their music video for G on YouTube and then I saw Genie on Mix. I started to vote for them, I started to be involved in the fandom. That was when I started to support them and follow them comeback after comeback. The thing that I love most about Girls' Generation is basically their whole journey, their whole story. When you've been a fan for 11 years, you've probably seen a lot and everything about them is just very inspiring. Girls' Generation bias is definitely Kim Hyo-yeon. She was the first member who caught my attention with her dancing skills, and after I found out she was actually really funny and she has a great personality, I loved her even more. I actually believe she's actually one of the best dancers in K-pop, and not only is she a total performer, a kind person, she's also an author, and she's also now a DJ. That's why, I really look up to her because she doesn't want to stop trying new things, and that's just really inspiring. I've attended 7 out of the 8 members' solo events in the past. 5 out of the 7 I actually took group photos with, and the only member I haven't seen yet is Sunny, but hopefully I get to see her soon. My DJ Hill meet and greet experience in Singapore. This was the very first time I saw her, and this is also the first time I met her. We shook hands, we talked, we took pictures, and she also signed my book. I met my bias, for the first time. For the first time I'm gonna be seeing her, I actually get to meet her and take pictures with her. It was actually a very, really happy moment for me. My second favorite moment has to be Open Hearts in Manila. Me, along with other Soans, were given the chance to say our message on screen for Tiffany. And then after she listened to our message, she actually cried. And then when we went up on stage during the photo op, she actually recognized me. And she was like, "You're the guy from the video." And I was like, "Yeah." And then she was like, "You should send me that video." And then we just casually talked and it was so natural. And then after that, she said, "We should do a heart." And then that's why we did a heart during the photo. And then afterwards, we hugged. Thank you for being this light. Thank you for being this figure of growth, strength, and hard work. We all look up to you and we just want you to know that we'll always be here to support you as much as you've been there for us throughout our lives. My third favorite moment has to be when I first went to Thailand for my very first Girls' Generation event ever, and it was Soo Young's fan meeting. Everything there was just so new to me, the concert culture and all that. We were okay to say something to her very quickly, so I told her please come to the Philippines, and she said arigato to me. Maybe she didn't understand me. Former Girls' Generation Jessica Jung's fan meeting in Macau. I was actually one of the lucky people that she chose to go on stage to cut her cake with her. She did this to my face and I was like, "Me." So I went up on stage and I didn't really know what was happening. I asked the translator what was happening. In the pictures, I was right beside Jessica. And then we sang happy birthday to her, and you don't get that chance to sing happy birthday to your idol every day and to stand right beside them. I actually collect all types of merch, from albums to DVDs, to magazines, to photo books, to photo cards, to postcards, to light sticks, to concert merch, calendars, anything. If I can afford it, I'm going to buy it. Shameless plug. I actually do unboxing videos on my YouTube channel of all of my items, new items, and also I have a separate IG page where I do flat lays of all of my items. I try to showcase them. Number 1 is my Girls' Generation official light stick. We have traveled so many times already and we have attended so many concerts together, and hopefully so much more in the future. This is my very first Girls' Generation purchase, which was their Girls' Generation second album, O. The very first thing I bought online using my own money is Girls' Generation's first Japanese album, the limited edition one. I actually saved up for this this while I was still in grade school. Taeyeon's Eye vinyl, which is super rare and costs so much on eBay. But I actually got this at a really reasonable price, and it's probably the rarest item in my collection. Everything else in my collection I treasure because I paid for these. I saved money for these. I traveled for some of these and I paid shipping for most of these. This is like 11 years worth of savings. Every piece I just love. It's actually very different from how things were before. Before, YouTube views didn't really matter. I mean, I guess to some people, but I would just download my videos before and save them on my MP3 and it would be okay. Sometimes I would actually vote for them to be on Mix. Girls' Generation was like always number one on Mix before. All my updates were from Mix Magazine, from and also like lyrics were from Mix, from songbooks. Now it's so much more easier. Like there are update accounts, there are stan accounts, there are lyric pages. I think the only way I could reach out to them was like Socify. And I was really young back then. I didn't really know anything about the internet. I think it's a better time now, and I'm really glad that Girls' Generation is still active during this time, because what you can't possibly do before, like as an international fan, you can actually do now to support them and to reach out to them. And I'm really glad that we old fans get to also experience this new fan culture with Girls' Generation and the newer generation fans.